I've got a Destiny 2 hot take for you. What if I were to tell you that the Breachlight sidearm is just as good, maybe even better, than the new Call sidearm?
I'm taller than you. I'm better looking than you. I think I'm stronger than you. Wow. I will kick your ass.
I know, seems crazy, right? But in this video, I'm going to break down what god roll I think you guys should be chasing on this and how to pair it with one of the best prismatic builds in the game so you guys can have a 100% uptime on your weapon damage, 100% uptime on debuffing enemies so they do 40% less damage to you, constant unraveling rounds, and constant huge explosions when you guys shoot tangles. So Guardians, let's get into it.
Yo, it's time to subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. What are you doing?
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous.
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. Like the video. Come on.
Hell
you know
yeah.
the drill.
Button.
And slap that like button.
Now before all the haters start to flood into the comment section, yes, I know that the Call sidearm is very good. I already made an entire video going over how good that sidearm is. And the main reason for me saying that the Breachlight is just as good, maybe even better, is that the Breachlight takes primary ammo, aka meaning you will never run out of ammo, whereas the Call sidearm takes special ammo, and there will be times where you run out of ammo unless you actually spec into finding special ammo via one of the mods on your helmet or a finisher, or you'll have to actually waste one of your perk slots on something like lead from gold with the Call. But with the Breachlight sidearm, you will never have to worry about running out of ammo, which is one of the many selling points of this sidearm. Now the Breachlight is a legendary kinetic sidearm, and it now does strand damage. It is in the heavy burst archetype, fires a hard-hitting 2-round burst, and it comes with the basic origin trait Cast No Shadows. Dealing melee damage increases this weapon's handling and loads a small amount of ammo from reserves. So as you can see in this clip right here, when I get my melee off, I get a little bit of ammo back in the magazine. Taking a look at the first column of trait perks, you've got Demolitionist, Pugilist, Perpetual Motion, Threat Detector, Compulsive Reloader, and Slice. Demolitionist is going to give you 10% of your grenade energy back each time you get a final blow with the weapon, and Pugilist does the same thing, but for your melee, you'll get 10% of your melee back every time you get a weapon final blow. Both are good perks if you guys are building into your grenade or your melee. Perpetual Motion is more of a PvP perk. This weapon gains bonus stability, handling, and reload speed while the wielder is in motion. This perk stacks 2 times, and with each stack you get 10 stability, 10 handling, and 10 reload. Then you've got Threat Detector. This also stacks 2 times if enemies are within 15 meters. At a 2-time stack, you're going to gain 40 stability, 60 reload, and a 100 handling. Very good perk for a sidearm. Sidearms don't have a lot of range to begin with, so you're going to want to be somewhat at a close vantage point when using this sidearm. So if you have Threat Detector on yours, it's pretty much going to be up at all times. Then we have Compulsive Reloader. While above 50% of the magazine, you're going to gain 50 points to your reload speed. This isn't really the best perk to have on here. Threat Detector gives you pretty much the same reload boost, and it's way easier to get Threat Detector going, so I would go with that if you guys are looking for a faster reload on this. Then last but certainly not least, we got to talk about Slice. Slice is my #1 pick for this column. States that after using your class ability, you'll be able to sever targets for the next 5 hits within 8 seconds of using your class ability. This perk right here is what's going to make enemy combatants deal 40% less damage to you. This perk comes in real handy in that endgame content, in those Grandmasters. Even in this background gameplay of me going through the campaign, this is on the legend difficulty of the campaign, and I'm having a relatively easy time because I'm able to debuff those hard-hitting enemies. In the last column of trait perks, you have Desperate Measures, Adrenaline Junkie, Swashbuckler, Vorpal Weapon, Hatchling, and Collective Action. Collective Action gonna grant you a 20% increase to damage whenever you run over an elemental pickup, aka Fire Sprite, Void Breach, Stasis Shard, Ionic Trace, or a Strand Tangle. It's a pretty nice damage boost, but there are larger damage boosts in this column that I think are better. Up next, we got Hatchling. Precision Final Blows, or rapidly defeating targets with this weapon, spawns a Threadling at the target's location. Always a good pick, especially if you have a Warlock Threadling build or even a Hunter Threaded Spectre build. It just provides you with one more way to get even more Threadlings on the battlefield. Then we have Vorpal Weapon, increases the damage against bosses, vehicles, and guardians with their super active. Vorpal is also a 20% increase to damage, but it only counts against certain enemies. Like it said in the description, those bosses and mini bosses. So it's not good for everything, but Vorpal weapon does count against champions, and since sidearms are unstoppable this season, it's not a bad option to go with. It's just not my favorite in this column. Then up next we got Swashbuckler. Swashbuckler states that this weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and just kills with the weapon, stacks up to 5 times, and at a 5-time stack this is a 33.3% increase to damage. One of the highest damage increases in this column, so if you really like running those melee builds, this is a good option. Then we have Adrenaline Junkie. This is basically the grenade version of Swashbuckler. This also stacks 5 times, 1 stack for each time you get a weapon kill, or you can just go automatically to 5 stacks if you get a grenade kill. And then last but not least, I want to talk about Desperate Measures. This is my number 1 pick in this column. This is a fairly new perk. States that weapon kills grant 10% increased damage for 7 seconds, and if you get a grenade or a melee kill while you have 1 stack, it's going to bump you up to 3 stacks, and at 3 stacks it gives you that 30% increase to damage. And the cool thing about this is that you can refresh it. Even by just getting 1 weapon kill will refresh that 30% increase to damage for another 7 seconds. That's why this is my favorite perk in this last column. So Guardians, what build do you guys got to utilize so that you guys have 100% uptime on the debuff and 100% uptime on that damage increase for your Breachlight? Well, you probably already noticed that we're on the Prismatic Hunter class, and the main reason for that is that we're going to be taking advantage of the Combination Blow. The Combination Blow is going to temporarily increase our melee damage when defeating a target, and this is going to stack 3 times, and defeating targets with this ability also fully refills our class ability energy and restores a small amount of health. Now you pair this with the exotic gauntlets for the hunter, the Liar's Handshake. Whenever you use your arc melee ability or being hit by a melee attack will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful melee counter punch that will heal you. So we're getting double the damage melee and double the healing with Combination Blow and Liar's Handshake. And you pair that with the Gambler's Dodge, so every time you dodge near an enemy, it's going to fully restore your melee ability. So this way, you're going to have your melee up 100% of the time. And then on top of that, you guys are going to want to take the Facet of Bravery Prismatic Fragment. They said defeating targets with grenade final blows grants volatile rounds to your void weapons, and defeating targets with powered melee final blows grants unraveling rounds to your strand weapons. So since we have 100% uptime on our powered melee, and the Breachlight is a strand weapon, this is going to ensure that we have 100% uptime on unraveling rounds. And then another piece of the puzzle is actually on the artifact, and it's called Threaded Blast. Destroying a tangle with a strand weapon creates a large and more damaging explosion. Since we have the 100% uptime on the unraveling rounds, every time we defeat a combatant by unraveling them, they're going to leave behind a strand tangle, which is basically just a mini nuke that will help clear the battlefield. So Guardians, what is my suggestion for the god roll for the Breachlight sidearm? I'm going to say go with small bore for the barrel, tactical mag for the magazine, slice, Desperate Measures, range masterwork, and perhaps slap up a backup mag mod to get more in the magazine. Pretty much the role that I got in the gameplay that you guys are watching right now. This thing is really good in endgame content, and it feels really crispy. So when you pair this role with the Prismatic Hunter, you're going to be unstoppable in PvE. So let me know down in the comments if you want me to go more in-depth on the Prismatic Hunter build that I'm using, because I really only went over 1 fragment and a couple of abilities. I didn't go over the whole build that I'm using. It's actually one of the best builds in the game right now. So if you guys want a separate video on that, let me know about that down in the comments. And also let me know down in the comments how mad are you that I suggested that this is as good as the Call sidearm. Can't wait to have that conversation. If you guys are new here and found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Destiny 2 content. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Follow me over on Twitch if you guys want to hang out live, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.